If your table saw is fine, but your cuts look fuzzy, burn the edges, or fight you the whole way, there's a good chance the blade is the real problem. Today I'm counting down 7 table saw blade picks and 1 setup tool that can take your cuts from good enough to why does that look factory made. Point 7. Ultra-Shear US1040ATBFK. The Ultra-Shear is a 10-inch, 40-tooth combination blade built around an ATB grind, and it's designed to do both cross-cuts and ripping without swapping blades all day. On paper, it checks the do-it-all box: 5/8-inch arbor, carbide tips, and a 1/8-inch kerf listed for this model. In real use, I treated it like a main blade, left it on the saw for a full stretch of mixed work: hardwood face frames, plywood panels, and basic 2x stock. The first thing I noticed is that it does produce genuinely clean cuts when you keep your expectations realistic for a 40-tooth combo blade. Crosscuts in hardwood looked crisp enough for most furniture parts, and rips didn't feel bogged down the way a high-tooth crosscut blade can. The blade feels stable, and vibration was not an issue in my setup. No scary singing or chatter when the feed rate was consistent. Where it starts to lose points is when you push it into the delicate stuff, especially veneered plywood where tear-out is the whole game. Ultra-Shear themselves position the 48-tooth version as the one that gives even cleaner crosscuts and reduced tear-out on veneered plywood and other delicate materials. And I agree with that logic. The 40T is good, but on picky surfaces, it's not the one-pass, perfect edge blade I wanted it to be. I could get great results, but it took more discipline, blue tape, careful scoring, or just accepting I'd do a little cleanup. Another small frustration is that this product page's spec line calls it thin kerf, while listing a 1/8-inch kerf, which is typically considered full kerf. That doesn't change how it cuts, but when you're buying blades, clarity matters, because kerf choice affects power demand, stiffness, and how your splitter or riving knife lines up. If you're newer, that kind of mixed labeling can send you down a rabbit hole. Number 6. Ultra-Shear US1048ATBTK. This is the 10-inch, 48-tooth thin kerf version in the same crosscut and rip ATB family with a listed 3/32" kerf and 5/8" arbor. In theory, that extra tooth count plus thin kerf should give you a cleaner edge while reducing the load on smaller saws, and that's exactly why I wanted to like it as a leave-on blade. I ran it for cabinet-style work, lots of plywood breakdown, some hardwood trim, and repetitive cuts where consistency matters. When the material cooperates, the finish is noticeably nicer than most basic combination blades. Ultra-Shear's own description of the 48-tooth version points to cleaner crosscuts, reduced tear-out, and a finer finish on veneered plywood. I got that finer finish feel, especially on crosscuts. Edges came off the saw looking more composed, less ragged, and more like they were heading straight to glue. But here's the trade-off. Thin kerf blades can feel a bit more sensitive to setup, alignment, and feed technique, and that showed up for me in long rips. On thicker hardwood ripping, I had to slow down and keep pressure consistent. Otherwise, the cut could start feeling less effortless than a purpose-built rip blade. That's not a deal breaker, but it does mean it's not the magic one blade to rule them all. If you regularly rip dense, thick stock. I also think this blade makes you more aware of your saw's tune, fence alignment, riving knife alignment, and arbor runout. Because the kerf is slimmer, any small issue feels bigger. If your saw is dialed in, you'll love the payoff in cleaner cuts. If it isn't, you'll blame the blade when it's really the setup. 5. Ultra-Shear US1020RIPTK. Now we're getting more specialized, and specialized is where table saw blades really start earning their keep. The Ultra-Shear 20-tooth thick stock rip blade is built for ripping thick, dense material, and the reasoning is simple. Fewer teeth with the right geometry means bigger gullets to clear waste fast. Ultra-Shear describes deeply curved gullets to clear shavings efficiently, reduce friction, and help prevent burning. In my shop, this kind of blade is what I want when I'm ripping hardwood for legs, rails, thick shelves, anything where a combo blade starts feeling like it's working too hard. The cut quality isn't about a polished, cross-cut finish. It's about steady feed, less heat, and less drama. and the first time you run thick oak or maple through a blade like this, you understand why fewer teeth can be the smarter choice. I found the biggest benefit wasn't just speed, it was how calm the cut felt. Waste clears, the motor doesn't sound like it's begging for mercy, and the edge comes out cleaner than you'd expect because the blade isn't rubbing and cooking the wood. If you've ever had a rip that starts smooth and then suddenly smells like a campfire, this is the kind of blade design that helps you avoid that. The flip side is obvious. Don't pretend this is your finished crosscut blade. It's a rip blade, and if you try to crosscut plywood with it, you're asking for tear-out and heartbreak. But as a second blade, you swap in when ripping thick stock is on the menu. It's a legitimate upgrade, especially if you're doing furniture builds and you actually process rough lumber. Number 4, Infinity Cutting Tools, Dado Measuring Gauge. This one isn't a blade, but it can save you more time than a blade if you cut a lot of dados. The Infinity Tools Dado Measuring Gauge, DMG 800, is designed to streamline stacked dado setup by letting you match material thickness and then follow a recipe for your chipper and shim combination. Infinity states it measures 19 stock thicknesses and aims to get you accurate setup, with accuracy referenced as within 0.003 inches. In practice, this is the tool that stops the install dado stack, test cut, remove, add shim, test again loop. You slide your shelf or panel into the nearest slot, read the combination, and you're close enough that your test cut becomes a confirmation, not a guessing game. When I'm building cabinets or bookcases, that's huge, because material thickness in the real world is rarely what the label claims. I also appreciate that it's meant to work with most stacked dado sets, not only infinities. That matters because a lot of woodworkers already own a dado set and just want faster setup, not a full replacement system. It's one of those rare accessories that doesn't need a learning curve. You use it once, and it immediately makes sense. Of course, you still do a test cut because wood moves, and sometimes you want a tight friction fit, and sometimes you want glue room. But instead of burning 10 minutes on trial and error, you're spending 1 minute getting it 95% right, then dialing it in with a shim if needed. So number 4 goes to the Infinity Gauge because it makes your dado blade investment actually feel convenient, not annoying. 3. CMT Orange Tools 250.024/10. The CMT is positioned as a ripping blade with a 10-inch diameter, 24 teeth, and a 5/8-inch bore, with a max RPM listing of 6,000 on at least one spec sheet. It also gets some industrial features called out, like tri-metal brazing designed to help teeth handle high stress and impact, and a chrome-plated blade surface intended to resist corrosion and resin buildup. That's the kind of feature set that makes me think, this blade is meant to live in a shop that actually uses tools, not one that only builds one project a year. In my own use, this type of 24T rip blade is a workhorse, especially for solid wood ripping. The tooth count is low enough that you're not rubbing the wood to death, and it's high enough that the cut edge can still look respectable when your fence and feet are right. It's the blade I'd reach for when I'm dimensioning a stack of hardwood parts, and I care more about efficiency than a glassy crosscut finish. I also like the idea of reduced cleanup from resin and pitch when a blade is designed to resist residue buildup. Anyone who has tried to rip pine and then wondered why their saw suddenly feels weak knows how fast gunk can change performance. When a manufacturer calls out that kind of protection, it's speaking to real shop pain. Now, to be fair, a ripping blade is still a ripping blade. You can crosscut with it in a pinch, but it's not what you grab for clean plywood edges or furniture-grade crosscuts. Pair it with a dedicated crosscut blade, or keep it as your processing blade, and it makes a lot more sense. Number 2, Freud P410. The Freud is designed specifically for clean crosscuts, especially in hardwoods, and that focus shows up in how people typically use this category of blade. It's the finish blade for miters, trim, and visible edges where tear-out ruins your day. I ran this kind of blade the way it's meant to be run, cross-cutting hardwood parts for joinery and cutting plywood panels where I wanted the edge to look like it came off a track saw. What I like most about a dedicated crosscut blade is the predictability. You're not asking it to be a rip monster. You're asking it to slice fibers cleanly, minimize splintering, and leave an edge that doesn't need a belt sander to look presentable. In my testing mindset, that means I'm judging it on tear-out resistance and surface quality, not on how fast it rips 8-4 maple. This is also the kind of blade that makes your table saw feel more precise than it actually is. When the blade is doing its job, your cuts look cleaner, your joints fit better, and suddenly you're blaming yourself rather than the tool when something is off. That's a good thing because it pushes you into better technique. The downside to a crosscut leaning blade is that it's not always the happiest choice for long ripping sessions, especially in thicker stock. You can do it, but it's not the most efficient way, and it can build heat faster than a true rip blade. So I treat it like a specialist. It comes out when cut quality is the priority. 1. CMT 230.01208. For the number one spot, I'm going with the CMT because it sits in that category of table saw tooling that directly upgrades joinery, specifically dado and groove work. One listing for a closely related CMT 8-inch dado concept highlights specs like an 8-inch diameter, negative hook angle, and grind styles aimed at producing flat-bottom grooves, which is what you want for strong, clean-fitting joinery. And when you're building cabinets, drawers, shelving, or any project where parts need to lock together cleanly, a dado setup that cuts flat and consistent is a bigger deal than most people realize. In my own shop experience, the difference between okay dados and great dados isn't just the width, it's the bottom of the cut and the wall quality. When the groove bottom is flat and the shoulders are crisp, shelves seat better, glue-up feels controlled, and your final assembly looks intentional instead of close enough. That's why a joinery-focused setup often deserves the top slot in a list like this. It changes what you can build reliably. I also like that these joinery-oriented sets are commonly described as being suitable for solid woods and sheet goods like veneered plywood and melamine, because real projects rarely stay in one material category. If your dado setup handles plywood without chipping and still works in hardwood without leaving a messy trench, it becomes the tool you build around. Another reason I rank this number one is workflow. When your joinery tool is dependable, you stop sneaking up on fits with random passes and start cutting to a plan. That saves time, reduces errors, and makes repeatability possible when you're doing multiple shelves or cabinet sides.